Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my last Eminem video. For now, obviously I'm not gonna fucking stop making Eminem videos. Are you crazy? I love that man. Most of my fan base is from that man. But in all seriousness, there has been a ton of Eminem on the channel recently because obviously the album dropped and I was preparing for the album, made a ton of videos on the death of Slim Shady, and this should be the last video kind of about that topic. I was gonna react to the bonus tracks, but they both got blocked whenever I made those. I know there's a couple people that have reactions to the bonus tracks out there, but your boy can't get past the firewall. I'm sorry. I tried. I appreciate everybody that supported me throughout the album reactions, and it was a fun time. And now you finally get to see where I put this in his discography. But before I do that, I'm gonna rap.
Yeah, you trying to make some cash on the side, I got the hustle, dog. Download Dominoes, gold and stuff the duffel, y'all. Make a couple $100 by running up the numbers. Streaking hotter than the summer, then you skirt off with the double haul. I done flipped a 10-piece to a 50 quick. Played a couple games and started stacking up the bricks. Going hard or going home, you know I'm betting big. So what you waiting for? Come and join this money kick. B-switch. No, it's not too good to believe this. If you wanna download Dominoes, just know every time you click that link, it means that you are supporting me. Sign up now and get 15 back on your match when you drop your first 15. It's easy as can be, just use the promo code that's on the screen. Go ahead and play a couple practice games, get the hang of it before you activate. Once you do, then dive inside of it and get to piling up all of that money that you'll make. Every download counts. Help me out, try it today. But to make money, here's the thing, buddy, you gotta download it and actually go play.
Seriously, go try that game. I used to play Dominoes with my grandmother growing up. I also get paid per download. It's a weird style that I've never done in ads before. So just download it, give it a shot. If you hate it, move on. But I actually really fuck with Dominoes. So it kind of worked out. Dominoes pizza too, but Dominoes the game. All right, so we got this tier list right here. It's a little weird because they didn't put Infinite on there, but they have Relapse Refill on here for some reason. It was just a deluxe version of Relapse. And so for the sake of this video, we're using Relapse Refill as Infinite. And I've got these listed in chronological order down here, and that's how I'm going to put these in the tier list. So let's get it, baby. All right, so Infinite. I had a hot take apparently in a video the other day where I ranked the albums based on the critics. I thought it was kind of unanimous that Infinite was his worst project just because it's not polished. Like there's no kind of polishing to it. The production's not very good and it's rough. It just sounds rough. The actual title song Infinite is probably the only one that I really care for, and there's some pretty horrendous songs on there, but I definitely can see the bones of what Eminem is going to be. But for me, going back and listening to it, it's just not fun. He's not there yet. But mad respect to all the Infinite lovers out there. I didn't realize there were so many. But as an album, as a project, not a whole lot of re-listenable songs on there for me. And so for that, I do have to drop it down here in the D tier. Just my opinion, obviously. Also, I say this in every single Eminem tier list video that I've done. I think I've done 3 now. I update them as the albums come out. This is based on an Eminem scale. This isn't based on like a worldwide scale. So I'm only comparing Eminem to himself in this. So that's not saying that Infinite is a D album overall. It's saying it's a D Eminem album, if that makes sense. Up next, we got the classic Slim Shady LP. I believe Rolling Stones has this as the 85th best album of all time. And holy banger alerts, Batman. Can you imagine My Name Is being the song that introduces you to the entire world? That is crazy. Guilty Conscience is on this. Brain Damage is on this. Role Model is on this. Just Don't Give a Fuck. So many bangers. But about half of the album is bangers and half of them are songs that I don't really care for. And I think that is what stops it from being an S tier album for me. But so many amazing songs on there, man. Up next, we have quite literally, I think, a top 5 album of any rapper of all time ever. So you obviously know that I'm dropping this up in the S tier, the Marshall Mathers LP. It's his best album, I think. Literally has like 3 songs on it that I don't really care for, but the rest of them are absolutely insane songs, like some of his highest streaming songs ever. Kill You, Stan, The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady. I think Criminal was on this one too. There's just so many. Moving on to the next album, we've got The Eminem Show. Imagine that being your first 3 albums to the world. Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and The Eminem Show. Eminem Show is an S tier album for me. And again, there's certain days where I feel like this might be better than the Marshall Mathers LP because, again, just so many unreal songs on this. You got White America, you got Business, Cleaning Out My Closet, Until I Collapse are on this. Immediate S tier for those 2 songs alone. But so is Without Me, so is Sing for the Moment, Superman. I forget what other songs are on this. There's just so many. I really should just pull up the track list. But yeah, 100% S tier album. Up next, we've got Encore. And this album I have such a love-hate relationship with because, again, there's just like 2 different personas happening on this. There's the serious lyricist Eminem that's happening, and then this is where we start to get into some accents and some weird funky stuff. Just Lose It is on here. Got some other weird songs like Big Weenie and Ass Like That. But then we've also got some really amazing classic songs with Like Toy Soldiers and Yellow Brick Road, and a top 5 Eminem song with Mockingbird. And so because of that, for me, it kind of drops it down a little bit below the Slim Shady LP. So we're going to drop this right here in the B tier. Again, Eminem album tier list. Please keep that in mind. We're only comparing Eminem's discography with himself. Now's where we get into the accents with Relapse. I know this has a cult following. There's some cool songs on this, but it's just too much for me. I want to like this album so bad. I really do, guys. It does have my favorite Eminem song of all time on it with with beautiful. And what sucks is like the lyrical technician on this album is insane. Like the rhyme schemes are crazy. He has such an incredible pen on this, but the way he delivers it, the wacky, weird accents, it just becomes too much for me. It also has We Made You, which I said in the face-off reaction that I hate that song. That thing was on VH1 every single morning. I remember being at my grandparents' house, and in the morning, that would play all the time. I would just see Eminem humping Sarah Palin all the time. But again, the pen on that album is crazy. It's just the delivery where it falls flat. So I'm dropping that in the C tier. Up next, we've got Recovery, another album that I have some weird relationship with because I do not like to be influenced by the masses, and I can be influenced by the masses in two ways on this. One, it's the most commercial album he's ever had. It has the most streams of any albums he's got. And so in theory, the more streams, the better the album. But I also am influenced by not wanting to put it high because it is commercial. And it's like a common thing that the commercial songs aren't really the good songs. They're just the radio friendly songs. So it's like a lose-lose anyway. But for me, bro, I love this album. And I like a lot of the songs that people don't really talk about. Untitled might be my favorite song on this album. And nobody ever talks about that. But bro, this album's got No Love. It's got Cinderella Man, Spacebound, Not Afraid. I don't particularly like Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna, or is Monster on this one. I can't remember which album that one was on. Both of the Rihanna collabs did get played way too much for me, and I became a hipster with those, where I didn't like it because it was popular. But pen game on him, again, he's never had a bad pen. It's always just been about delivery. And I think this is an absolute classic album. Again, it's just this weird catch-22, like it got so popular and so commercialized that people hate it because it was commercialized. But I love the sound. So for me, it's an A tier album. Going on over to the Marshall Mathers LP2. I do remember this being touted as the return of Slim Shady. Berserk was everywhere. Obviously, it's got Rap God on there, one of the biggest songs ever, and one of the songs that helped this channel grow. But yeah, I really don't remember there being a bad song on this album at all. Except for maybe Love Game. I never really liked that. It was a very underwhelming collab with Kendrick. They needed another one. They need to redo that. But I remember hearing Brainless, and Brainless just does this weird thing to my head, and it hits a nerve that is a very good nerve that it hits. It's just this weird sound wave that it hits. It's like, oh my god, I like that. It's not filled with classics like Eminem Show is in the Marshall Mathers LP, but again, looking over the span of this album, I don't remember there being a bad song. And so it is an A tier album, and I'm gonna put it between Recovery and Slim Shady LP. I like it better than Recovery, but not quite as much as the Slim Shady LP. Up next, we've got Revival. I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. I still don't like Revival. I've tried so many times to like Revival. I like a handful of songs on it. It's got the worst Eminem song of all time on there with Heat. I love Castle, and I love A Rose to finish out the album. And I personally like Walk on Water, and I even like River with Ed Sheeran. The Chloroseptic remix was way better than the original Chloroseptic. Should have been on that album. But just the overall political nature and just the way that he sounds, the mixing on this album kills me. So I do not like it. I don't think it's worse than Infinite, but it's close. So there's Infinite, not Relapse Refill. Infinite, and then Revival. Moving forward, we have Kamikaze, which again, I have a soft spot for. My channel blew up shortly after Kamikaze and stuff that happened as a result of Kamikaze because I did videos on the MGK and Eminem beef, and I got like 100,000 subscribers in that month. September 2018, I'll never forget it. I still listen to this album probably more than any of them, mainly because I bought this album on Apple Music. I don't have any of the other ones bought, I don't think. But this is just a fun album to listen to. It's got 2 or 3 songs on there that I don't particularly care for, with Nice Guy and Bad Guy, and I think Normal might be the other song that I don't like. But the rest of them I love, especially like Stepping Stones. That sounds like very vintage Eminem. I like the title song Kamikaze. I like The Greatest, Fall, Ringer, so many bangers. And I actually really like the concept. It's just Eminem being so pissed that he doesn't care if he's gonna die, talking about the stuff that he's pissed off about. Kamikazes are pissed off about war, so they literally kill themselves trying to kill somebody else. But it was a surprise album, and there's not really any kind of storytelling through it, but I think it is a very high B tier, almost A tier, but it feels more maybe like a mixtape, so that's why I'm gonna put it into a B. Music to Be Murdered By. Got some great songs on there. Godzilla is a banger. I think it's a top 10 Eminem song. I remember not really caring for that song all that much the first time I heard it, but the more I've heard it over the years, the more I've really freaking loved it. I definitely like side A way better than I like side B. Man, this is hard looking at this. I really should have planned this out instead of done this on the fly. Again, I don't think there's any bad songs on this album. It doesn't really have any kind of skips, but there's not a lot that really stuck with me moving on into my life. I didn't relate to it as much, so I think I'm gonna put it right here. It's definitely a B album for me. I don't know if I like Encore better or not. I think I do. Going into side B for Music to Be Murdered By. Again, like I said, I don't really like it more than side A. It does have some really good songs on there. I think this was my first introduction to White Gold with Zeus, and I really like the chorus that he did on that. I love Higher. It's one of my favorite Eminem songs. And I really like Discombobulated. It sounded like an old Eminem song. Killer got really overplayed for me. It's kind of that club style song that I didn't care for too much. And again, I don't like it as much as side A, but it's very comparable. There might be like 7 songs that I really like on side A and 5 songs that I really like on side B. Like they're kind of neck and neck almost. So I'm gonna drop it in right behind it on the tier list here. And then that leads us into The Death of Slim Shady. If The Death of Slim Shady stopped after Guilty Conscience 2, I'd be in a very weird debacle right now, putting it over some of these albums. But I just hate Road Rage. I can't stand that song. I'm sorry, the chorus on it just kills me. Head Honcho is fine, but it's not a memorable song for me. Here's my perfect album, okay? Take Road Rage out of the album completely. Make Trouble into a full song. I would also remove Head Honcho, and I would remove Toby, and that's it. And maybe not even remove Toby. Maybe make Toby a bonus track. But you take those songs out, I feel feel like you've got a very high A tier album. Even Brand New Dance, I start to fuck with Brand New Dance now, just because it makes sense for the concept of the album. But the first 9 tracks going into this thing are just banger after banger, Brand New Dance, then banger, 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 banger. And then track 10 is Road Rage. So with that being said, I'm going to put it at the very highest of the B tier. So there you have it, my Eminem album tier list. I think I'm happy with this. I don't know, my opinions change every single day. Do I like Recovery more than The Death of Slim Shady? Those are like the only ones that I'm really worried about. Let's swap them. How about that? Maybe swap them? Does that look right? I don't know. This is where I'm conflicted. Okay, you can pick which one. You can either say this is the one I got or this is the one that I got. I don't know. Time will tell. But that's it for this one. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is an opinion-based video. This is just how I'm feeling today. Could be completely different the next day. And I love Eminem, and he's way better than me, okay? Just because I put an album in a D tier doesn't think that I think my music is better, okay? It's not what this is about. But I love you guys. Thank you again. Download Dominoes if you want to support me. Again, I get paid for the downloads. And thank you for watching. Today's Friday, so there won't be a video tomorrow, but there will be a live stream at 11 a.m. on Sunday on this channel. I hope to see you there. If not, I'll see you in the video on Monday. Have a great weekend, guys.
Have you ever noticed that there used to be some people floating around me, now they're gone with the wind? Probably got tired and mad at me because I actually saw the things that they did. Begging for a feature, begging for a post, begging just to let them open at my show, begging me to share their shit because they're thinking that my share will make the shit blow. But I've limbo, quick up down on my none shit, don't give a fuck now. Took notes every single time that you try to use me for an up route, but I'm done now. Fuck you, no metaphors needed.